Alright, episode 4, Big Gay Al's Big Gay Boat Ride, and my hair looks kind of like a mess because I just took a shower. Oh well. Okay, so the summary of this episode was Stan has a new dog named Sparky, and then, as he's showing off his dog, they realize that Sparky is gay. Him and the 4 other boys. And so, as you can imagine, Cartman makes fun of him. Cartman's a jackass. Also within this episode, there's a big homecoming football game against another town called Middle Park, and so a lot of the adults are excited because, according to Jimbo, not a lot of people even went to high school. I mean, a lot of them just graduated elementary school and then it ended. And something that was a little funny is the chef. Chef is the coach of the football team, and as you can imagine, Chef pretty much teaches the kids how to play football using sexual innuendos. And it's completely lost on the children, and they don't learn anything. Out of the entire football game, Stan is the main, he's the star player, and, everyone's like, oh my gosh, Stan. And Stan is the one who gets special treatment. So, because Stan's dog is gay, Stan decides, hey, let me teach him to not be gay. So he does different things, like he tells him not to be gay, he introduces Sparky to a female dog, and he even calls Jesus in Pals to ask him is it okay to be gay? And then Stan gets really frustrated and he's like, I hate having a gay dog, I just want a butch dog. And so Sparky hears this and he runs away, and Sparky ends up finding Big Gay Al's Big Gay Animal Sanctuary. And anytime it's something with Big Gay Al, you have to say Big Gay Al's blah blah blah, because that's how it is. But yeah. So when Stan discovers that Sparky is missing, he's like, I'm not going to play the football game, I'm going to go look for my dog. So as you can imagine, everyone at the football game, because Stan is a star player, is freaking out going, where's Stan? I put money on this game, which is a terrible idea. Why would you do that on a children's game? And so everyone is getting pretty mad because Stan's not there, which is kind of saying that, they're not going to win because Stan was the best player. So Stan leaves, and then he eventually finds Big Gay Al's Big Gay Animal Sanctuary, and then Big Gay Al takes him on a big gay boat ride to teach him about homosexuality. And in the end, Stan gets back Sparky, and he goes back to the football game, and even though South Park doesn't win, they beat the spread. And I have no idea what that means, because I don't know anything about football whatsoever. I only know, the basics. I have no idea what the spread is. But they beat the spread. They didn't win, but they beat the spread, and everyone was happy. Anywho. So Stan goes up in front of everyone and is like, yeah, well, maybe we'll beat them next year. And I also learned that being gay is okay. And everyone kind of freaks out and looks at him. And then Stan's like, wait, here, let me show you guys where Big Gay Al is. And he takes him to the site of where the animal sanctuary really is, but there's nothing there except for the animals, and a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, my missing cat, my missing dog, yay, I found them. And then Big Gay Al's just Stan goes up to Big Gay Al, and then Big Gay Al is like, thanks, thank you, Stan, for teaching teaching everyone, and blah 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 blah, and happiness and joy. And then Big Gay Al somehow gets into his suitcase and goes away. So yeah, so themes in this episode were, first off, homosexuality, and the three themes I found were homosexuality, special treatment for sports stars, and the great lengths that people go to win. So for homosexuality, people think that gays are evil. That's not true. People think that God hates gays, and that is not true! God loves everyone. God, that's... Okay, so as a Christian, it gets really frustrating because people think that all Christians hate gays, and that's really not true. And, something that really bothers me is that they always, compare us to the Westboro Baptist Church. That is an extreme form of hate, and, I think if Jesus was here, he'd probably be like, hey guys, you probably shouldn't do that. I mean, Jesus died for everyone. Jesus died for even the worst of sinners, and like, okay, like, I personally don't agree with homosexuality, but I understand that some people are gay, and rather than bashing them, I'll just be like, I may not agree with you, but you're still a person and you're a human being. God loves you, I love you. Let's go get a slushie. Slushies make everything better. But yeah, like, Christians don't hate gay people. Some, okay, well, we're not supposed to, but then you get the Westboro Baptist Church that just ruins it for everyone! But yeah, so, Christians don't hate gay, like, we shouldn't hate gay people. I don't really know any gay, no, my uncle's gay. He's, like, amazing. I'm just saying. But yeah, like, just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean I can't be cool with you. And, yeah, I can get into that, but, oh well. I'm just not gonna get too deeply into it. Anyways, okay, so the second thing that I found was special treatments for sports stars, and like, okay, so there's a scene where where kids are doing a report, and then Stan doesn't do his report or whatever, and Mr. Garrison's like, okay, you get an A, and everyone's like, what the heck? And Mr. Garrison is like, well, the reason why I did that is because Stan is a sports star, and therefore he gets a special treatment. I'm not sure if that happened in my high school, but I can see why it really bothers people. I mean, I work hard for my grades. I am not in any sports whatsoever. I don't do sports. But like, it just bothers me when certain people get special treatment because of like something random. Like, okay, I understand that you worked really, really hard in order to be a sports star, but you should work hard for your grades as well, and you shouldn't get special treatment for anything, whether it be sports or, like, intelligence. Okay, when I say that, I'm, like, referring to, Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was a guy who, like, was working on the Manhattan Bomb Project. I think that's what it was called. But, like, he straight up almost killed his tutor. He poisoned his tutor, and all they did was, like, they didn't even suspend him or anything. They just kind of, like, put him on probation. He didn't even go to jail. So, like, I think that people should be treated equally. But yeah, so, like, whether you're intelligent or whether you're good at sports, you shouldn't get special treatment. So yeah, okay, so the next thing is, another theme is going to great lengths to win. So yeah, Jimbo is willing to steal and kill off Middle Park's mascot. I don't know, I just think that's weird. I think that's more of a sports thing when people steal each other's mascots. I really don't get why. I was never a sports person. I was more into the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Anyway, so jokes and interesting things that I found in this episode. First off, George Clooney voices George Clooney is the voice of Sparky in this episode, and all he said was bark. That's it. Bark. And George Clooney got a credit for that. Another thing that I found interesting is Clyde speaks in this episode, but his voice is different. It's just a little more high-pitched. His voice now is a lot more nasally. You know, Clyde's an interesting character. He tends, like, right now, you don't see it, but in later episodes, he tends to be a little bit more egotistical, especially in The List, where the girls make up a list of the hottest guys in class, and he's, like, number one or something. Yeah, he is number one, and then he gets, like, really egotistical, and he is pretty egotistical, I think, in general. But when his mom died in Reverse Cowgirl, I'm so sad. But anyways, in this episode, Kenny dies by being pulled apart on the football team by the other team. I mean, he gets pulled apart on the football field by the other team. That's worth noting. Also, another thing is Brian Boitano is again featured in this episode, but he just like skates around during Big Gay Al's Big Gay Boat Ride. Just like, you know, he's skating in that scene. He doesn't say anything, but I know that it was him. And another random fact is, okay, like, the way that the bunnies are drawn in South Park, I just think is adorable. It's just, they're just so cute. Yeah. Like a couple first, Stan's dog Sparky, which Sparky doesn't really, he's not really featured in other episodes. I think it's just this one. I mean, like, he kind of pops up other places, but he's not really a main character. I would think that they would have him be a little bit, I would think that he would be around more, but he really isn't. I think Sparky's featured in proper condom use, and that's about it. But yeah, another thing is, I think this is the first time that Pip speaks, and I honestly feel as if, so far right now, in the first season, Pip is kind of like the pre-Butters, because everyone picks on him and everyone makes fun of him. Like, in this episode, he's like, hey Chef, can I have a helmet? But Chef refuses to give him a helmet for whatever reason, even though Pip's like, hey, you know, can I borrow one of the other kids' helmets? Or, you know, Stan's not here, can I use his helmet? And Chef refuses. And there's like, and throughout this season, and I'll bring it up as it comes around, Pip's just made fun of, Pip is ridiculed. But I honestly want to know what happened to Pip, because he's not mentioned whatsoever now. I mean, I don't even think he's in the video game, quite honestly. He's not in the video game, he hasn't been in any of the recent seasons. I think right after they started featuring Butters, Pip just kind of like, we completely forget about him and he's never brought up again, which is sad because I liked Pip. He was a good character. He was British. I really liked Pip. I think like after the movie, he never came up whatsoever, and that makes me sad. We should have Pip again. Please bring back Pip. Anyways, so Bill and Fosse are also, I think this is the first appearance that they make that they're actually speaking. Their voices aren't heard, but yeah, they just say, ha ha ha, that's gay, and that's basically all they ever say. They just call everything gay. So another first is, I think this is the first time where Mr. Garrison's homosexuality is implied. Stan goes up to Mr. Garrison and asks what a homosexual is or something like that, and then Mr. Garrison is like, well, Stanley, you've come to the right person. And so it's kind of implied that he was about to say, yeah, I'm gay, but instead he calls gay people evil. He also takes off his glasses, so now we know what Mr. Garrison looks like without his glasses, even though that probably wouldn't be hard, because whatever. And like another place where Mr. Garrison is implied as gay is that Mr. Garrison and Chef were in a scene together, and then Mr. Garrison says something like, gays are evil. And Chef looks at him and he's like, what are you talking about? I thought if anything you'd be the most sympathetic because you're gay. And Garrison is like, no, I'm not gay. And yeah, so it's just, this is the first time that Mr. Garrison's homosexuality is implied. Another first is the non-PC sports announcer. I'm just going to call him that. I don't think he was in other episodes either, but he did get some pretty good jokes in here. The sports team, the Cows, is mentioned first here, so I thought that was pretty special. And I think it's sweet how all four boys are on the same football team. I just find it, like, I also kind of found it funny how they were called the Cows, and then Middle Park's sports team was called the Cowboys. So, yeah, funny. Okay, probably another first, probably the most notable first in this episode is Big Gay Al, who says, I'm super, thanks for asking, which is also a song in the movie. But yeah, so Big Gay Al, first time he's ever mentioned, first time he ever comes up, and he has, I would say that he's come up decently. Like, he hasn't come up a lot in recent episodes, but he's come up a decent amount. I know that when, like, in the F word, he comes up because he holds a sign that says, gays against fags. And in the video game, he isn't really brought up either. He's just like, when you're inside of Mr. Slave, if you answer the iPhone inside of Mr. Slave, then it's Big Gay Al. Like, I don't think other than that, you, like, don't see Big Gay Al whatsoever. Video game related, well, again, Pip doesn't even come up in the video game. I liked Pip. Video game related, Stan uses Sparky in a few attacks, or like there's this, one of Stan's special moves, like, is related to his sword, and then Sparky is in the background and he's doing like a special pose. And then as his buddy command, Stan calls upon Sparky and Sparky like pees on something in water. Actually, urine is very, very sterile. Nursing school, that's how I know that. So yeah, I hope you like this video. I really hope that I didn't offend anyone with my opinion, but on homosexuality, but it's my opinion. If you disagree, okay, that's what makes the world go around. So yeah, thanks for watching, and again, I'm kind of just starting this out, blah blah blah. I'm actually figuring how to, like, I've made an outline and I'm figuring out how to like outline these things better so I can, I don't know. I feel as if this is the best that I've done so far, because my beginning like 3 videos are just me rambling, and I'm just rambling right now, but I'm doing my best. I'm trying really hard. Also, another personal note, I did my nails. That made me happy. Okay, thanks. Thank you for watching. Okay, bye.